And a good evening to everyone out there, fans of A Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 4. This is Week 4. We've had an open league match for you tonight between RickyofKokiri of Guardians of the Galaxy Brain and Tyvarius37 of Validation Chest Boots. I am Zeruvian, Zeke Highwind joining me on commentary, and X is going to keep up with this because this is spoiler, and it's spoiler key sanity. And Zeke, we've got two pilots in the background as well, and they're going to show our two runners where to go throughout the seed.
That they are. And fans who may have watched some of this mode already today might know this mode is fast. It's furious and, well, it's kind of fun to keep up with, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. You're going to see some runners do some things you might not consider doing if you're playing your usual open or even a routing mess that would be an entrance randomizer seed. You're going to see some decisions made that'll be all over the place because one player has the spoiler log and they are going to pilot the two players we have on the screen for their respective teams. I didn't happen to catch who's piloting for Ricky or Tyvarius here, but I'm sure we've got that notated somewhere.
I can get that information quickly.
So the pilot has the spoiler log. They know where all of the keys, all of the items, all of the prizes, all the prize packs, indeed, as well, happen to be on this seed. So as you see, while the pilot gets situated, you're going to see our runners kind of just go through the motions here. And the pilots will be feeding them information as it comes, whether or not they should pull a tree for some bombs or have to save up rupees for Kakariko. That's going to be on them to convey to the runner.
And I've confirmed our pilots for today. We have Guardians of the Galaxy Brain has brought Olhado on as pilot today, while the Validation Chest Boots have brought on Hexodus.
And you see some immediate divergence. Tyvarius deciding to go for that Tier 1 tree pull, finds 80 rupees as a result. Pretty nice little thing to get started with. Vanilla Bombs in Kakariko. Well, we saw Ricky go directly into Kakariko to pick those up. And now things will start to unfold slowly here. Also, 50 free rupees is pretty nice as well.
Plenty of bombs out of the well, too. 6 bombs is a lot of useful items. And there's a nice little safety in the forest. Just a heart container, but experienced spoiler runners will tell you, we get a lot of not much in this mode. The less we can get, the better.
The less you're having to go out of your way to pick stuff up, the better your overall time should be, in theory. This is a very execution-heavy mode. And in part because you're going to want to try to just get through the seed as fast as you can. And that means you might hear us talking about safety a lot every time you see every single piece of heart or every heart container picked up.
Well, it's like we've already seen one safety possibly get skipped by Guardians of the Galaxy Brain with that heart container in the forest. And there's a heart container and a piece of heart here in the Lion's Well. So you just already were at 4 hearts or 5 hearts. So some runners, that's comfortable for the entire game. Not sure on these runners. Also, a glove is useful to have.
Yeah, that early glove, you might see them dipping into the back of Sank and pulling one item. You never know. Speaking of one item, that is one key sitting in the chicken house, and we don't want to see the rest of Kakariko. Apparently, that's all we needed here.
Guardians of the Galaxy Brain has, due to money shortage, did not get that heart, but there is a sword in Link's house. So no silly low percent hammer only shenanigans today.
If I had to guess, I'm imagining that's Ricky just saying, guess what? I'm going in. I don't care how many hearts I've got, I got this. And that's the kind of attitude you want from your spoiler runner.
It's also not uncommon to see a runner say, skip the chest or skip the flooded item and just get one item from here, like a second sword.
Second sword. That is going to be a pretty decent offensive increase this early on. And I would imagine you're going to see Tyvarius go in that direction as well, with Hexodus at the wheel. Yeah, you don't skip 2 swords early if they're just right in front of you, you know?
Yeah. Swords are the best offensive advantage you can get early. Because swingy.
Swingy, stab, stab, stab. Just like that, we're done with Mini Molarm Cave. And there's a heart container for Guardians of the Galaxy Brain. That's pretty nice. Oh, and the boots and the mirror. Guess what?
That's a pretty good reason for us to have come here early. One of the things a lot of spoiler runners will do is go, hey, where are the boots?
And Ricky veering straight back to the west, so you wonder maybe if there's something else he might need over in this direction. You want to get the boots because that makes this whole trip faster to Agina's Cave.
And Tyvarius looking a little low on health here, but does get through mini bolt arms effectively.
That was a little bit sketchy. If he had gotten bopped into that pit, that would have been game over right there. But notice he's only picking up the whole heart container. And he's going to go ahead and save and quit here. So I wonder where Validation Chest Boots wants to go next. Ricky picking up a bow at Agina's Cave.
I'm going to guess we go Eastern here soon.
And that's a little routing call that could either help or hurt our runners as we go through here. You never know if that's the bow that we need or if that's a bow we're just going to, that you might see Validation Chest Boots pick that up much later.
If at all.
There are two bows. Silvers would be a nice advantage, but if you've already got two swords, you don't necessarily need them.
That's a Moon Pearl blocked by boots.
And you're going to see Tyvarius go ahead and save and quit here, whereas Ricky appears to be going to the back of Escape. So, as I stated earlier, probably an item back here to be picking up. How much you want to bet it's a hammer?
I'd be willing to bet mitts.
Well, apparently both runners opting for some safety. Blue Mail is pretty nice to have in this mode. If your HP pool's a little bit less, then take the damage down to half. Why not? That, and it's, right under our feet.
I mean, Blue Mail at 5 hearts is nice because you can get an extra hit out of that extra bit of defense. It doesn't save you against some of the later bosses who would do 4 on green and then 3 on blue, but that's what later heart containers can be for. And Validation Chest Boots opting to skip Saha's Closet. For now.
One of the many required Turtle Rock keys sitting there. We'll need at least 3, but only if there's an item on Laser Bridge. As you see, with the spoiler log available, our tracker today, Sabryu X, has already put in what the prizes are for each dungeon, and you see that Turtle Rock is a pendant.
There's part of this crystal pendant layout I don't like. And that is the fact that this could be a Cane of Samaria-less seat.
So if you're looking at this log, you're going, oh my goodness, look at these pendants. Now I have to look and see if Cane of Samaria is required for anything. It's still a nice item to want. It just makes your Ice Palace and your Swamp Palace a little bit easier to go through. As we see both runners now in Eastern decide to skip Cannonball, so we know nothing's there. And straight to the back. No big key, so this will be a double dip of Eastern. But there's your hammer, so that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, that's a hammer spot.
Ricky having just a little bit of trouble with the Stalfos room, but he's going to prevail, grab his hammer, and I would imagine we see the Guardians of the Galaxy Brain go ahead and save and quit here.
It's not surprising. We only have 2 pod keys, and we don't have a big key yet, so I wouldn't imagine seeing a trip to pod yet. I could see us doing a mountain trip here.
I wouldn't put that off the table, but we also could be seeing a trip to Village of Outcasts, because we do have that crystal in Thieves Town that we can now have the first 4 items have a look for us here. And if there happens to be anything there that we may need, getting it out of the way now, or even finding a big key in its surroundings, would put us on the board pretty quickly here.
As a reminder, because I don't believe we mentioned it, when we're playing our pilot spoiler week, we play open key sanity. So, all those keys are everywhere, as we've seen.
Keys everywhere, which means that not only are they looking for their progressive items, but the pilots are also looking for the keys that they need to clear their dungeons as well.
And in some cases, determining how few keys you can get away with getting. Every pilot will look at the pod and go, how many of the 6 keys do I need to get here? We're taking a trip into a keyless Skull Woods.
And both runners deciding to drop into what would be considered, some of us call the soft lock woods, because if you don't have a key, you're not getting out of here. I'd say that's worth picking up the drop for. What do you think, Zeke?
I'm concerned about that mushroom that Guardians of the Galaxy has opted to pick up.
You have to wonder if that's something that they may be thinking about at some point. Did Validation Chest Boots get the mushroom?
They did. But we know where we're going now, and that is to go play a flute.
My first thought that's probably just an easy heart container pickup, but that's my first thought. It could be a lot more than that. And of course, now having the money, Ricky's going to opt for this free heart. And by free, I mean 100 rupees.
One thing that catches some newer pilots off guard is that rupee count we do have to pay attention to. Because we do have to be able to get into Palace Darkness to seed, for example.
Also have to watch out for items on the dig game, on Zora, in the chest game, all of which cost money. And the Smiths, they also take 10 rupees.
Pyramid Fairy,
100 rupees to buy the big red bomb. We're going to see a front of the castle from Ricky.
And an Ice Rod Cave from Tyvarius.
What could be in Ice Rod Cave? That would be a TR key. So what we're seeing here, opting not to look at the spoiler logs ourselves, they're picking up TR keys. That means I'm willing to guess there's probably something in TR.
2 keys in. I'm going to guess Laser Bridge.
That would be my first instinct as well.
And Ricky backs out and then is told, no, go to Castle Tower.
It looked for a moment that Tyvarius wanted to set up the fake flipper here, but I'm not sure what caused him to change his mind.
Maybe in fact he has 11 rupees.
That would be a good bet. Or a good guess,
in fact
anyway.
that there are flippers in Hyrule Castle he can get.
You know, makes it a little bit easier to swim if, you need the flippers anyway with that crystal swamp sitting down there. Oh, that is a reason to go back to Castle Tower. That's the single best offense upgrade you can ask for in a seed. And our runners have it at 12 minutes in.
Yep, we're actually looking pretty comfortable for actual combat. Tempered Sword, Ricky has a bow, Blue Mail, at least 6 hearts. We're looking comfy right now. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, I would most certainly agree on that. We know our medallions aren't necessarily required here either, unless you need that Bombos to go through Ice Palace. Tavarius looks to not be going to pick up that sword. He wants to go in the water. Oh. That's a place
I missed
for that.
what color elemental stick that was.
It was my favorite color. The color of the 2 sprites on the screen. The color of the water that Tavarius is swimming in. That is a blue stick.
I don't like that we picked that up. I do not like that we picked it up in a pendant TR seed.
Forget that it's a pendant TR seed. We have an early flute, and Meyer is also a pendant.
Can we not remind me of this fact, please?
And we did bypass Hera for now, for Ricky. So maybe it's not as bad as I think it is. Or maybe he's just going for the hook shot so he can just make it his way through Tower of Hera much faster.
Or maybe something's in the big chest.
That would not be very good either. And what Tyvarius wanted to pick up here is a small key. I imagine this is also TR. Oh, this is a Swamp Small.
That is a Swamp Small. Another thing that the spoiler log has that the runners has access to is they know ahead of time what pendants they need to get into our pendant dungeons here, what medallions they need.
So if you see someone going out of their way to pick up Quake, for example.
We have 4 swords in 14 minutes.
And we have the cane. That tells you everything, doesn't it, Zeke?
Just a little.
Well, there's a certain cave that Tyvarius has walked into that appears to have an item for us today. Oh, it's the hook shot!
I'd call that pretty hype. What about you?
I would say that it sounds to me like Validation Chest Boots wants to take out Swamp Palace very early here.
Guardians of the Galaxy Brain are also going for that.
I might stand corrected, depending on what Tyvarius does here.
This looks like a island check.
The lamp is on Hylia Island.
As a first fire source, I'm okay with seeing that. What about you? I'd rather have a fire rod.
I'm not going to lie to you. The lamp is an underrated item.
It's a fantastic safety. Just because if you have to do, for example, Palace of Darkness or Misery Mire, depending on where it is, it's not too difficult for it to make up the amount of time, especially at a lower playing level. Because these runners, they're giving us a show. They're not the top of the Invitational, but they're doing their best to give us a show here.
You don't have to be at the top or even in the Invitational to know that the lamp does save you some time in those dark rooms where you're otherwise just your movement speed is stymied by not having a way to flip this crystal switch. Tyvarius has to switch to bombs here. Not having to worry about finding your way through a dark room.
And it looks like Ricky is going into your favorite dungeon.
Mm-hmm. I love to dive into early swamp. 6 hearts? Nah. Give me 4 hearts in green mail and I'll take it. And probably pull progression at a left side, because of course you do. Because swamp is evil like that, and I love it.
Oh, they forgot to grab the hook shot.
Yeah, that's going to cost Guardians of the Galaxy Brain just a little bit of time. But right now, Tyvarius is still headed back up the mountain, so you have to wonder what the plan is here. This is probably a run over to pick up the Ice Rod.
If there's anything in Hera, Tyvarius can get it with a Hera pot.
That's true. But no, it's a run to pick up the it's a run to pick up the Ice Rod, question mark?
It's a run to pick up the Ice Rod.
You can't pick up the Ice Rod when it's visible in front of you. There's something inside Spectacle Rock that they want.
Okay. Tyvarius is proving us wrong as commentators.
That's what happens when you don't play a lot of spoiler. It's a key, and I don't believe we saw Ricky pick up this key, so depending on what it is a pod key. Oh, well, that's foreboding. See, when you pick up more than 1 or 2 keys, it's basically telling everybody here in the eyes of the show, hey, there's something I want in pod, and I need a couple keys to go get it.
I mean, most runners want 2 if there's nothing in pod, because 2 gets you... There's our friend the Boomerang. But 2... keys gets you to Helma without having to do Bowlock side.
3 keys lets you go through most of the back, if you can hammer jump. You would be leaving the big key chest and the harmless Hellway chest, but you might see our runners say, hey, there's something there.
We also just picked up an Ether Medallion.
And, have you looked down at the medallion requirements lately?
I just did. Those do happen to look a lot like vanilla medallions to me.
Oh, not even just that, but we picked up that Ether, which means we're going into Misery Mire. We're picking up TR keys and the Ice Rod, which means we're going into Turtle Rock. Is this a spoiler keys nightmare? I didn't say it. I didn't say it. And Ricky's going to go to Left Side Swamp, so... did I said that too? I said that too.
You did. Luckily,
you know what?
Can't really call it a comms curse when they know it's coming.
Yeah, that's perfectly true and fine. Is the pilots know where everything is, so it was predetermined before I even said it that they were going to Left Side Swamp. The question is, what's on Left Side Swamp?
Mitts.
Oh, to Mitts and Swamp Palace. Of course they are.
As a reminder, we told you, our tracker has the spoiler log. We have not looked at it once. We're not going to, are we?
Oh no, it's more fun this way. I feel like it's more fun this way because I feel like a runner trying to go through this seed. And I'm just like, if someone's in my ear telling me, Mitts are on Left Side Swamp, I'm going straight for it. To answer a question in chat, no. The pilots do not get to prepare any time on the spoiler. They immediately come into the seed at the same time as the runner, and they are off to research the instant that the player on the screen opens the tank chest. Regardless of what that is. That's a book on Left Side Swamp.
I did not expect a book, I will admit.
Okay.
What's on our tablets?
I would guess Fire Rod's on a tablet, as Ricky hasn't gone out of his way to pick up a lamp yet. Although you could see him do that coming out of Swamp Palace here.
Here's another opinion I have now. The book actually isn't for a tablet. The mitts are in desert.
Ew. That's a pair of hard boots book lock mitts, if that's the case. Ew.
You know, it's looking a little more plausible, isn't it?
He sure is. And they're going to be able to go clean up desert as a result of getting there to begin with. It is one of our crystals. We do have the big key, as we've just seen Ricky pick it up from the swimming pool in the back of Swamp Palace. So, are mitts on Lamulus? That is the question.
The third Guardian Galaxy Brain is enjoying this seed because apparently it's keeping up with practice. And Argus. Argus is a lot more threatening when you don't have a golden sword.
Yeah, you're going to see Ricky just take this nice and easy. One slash will kill them all with a tempered sword. The gold sword makes things a little bit simpler in phase 2. 2 slashes, although we have an ice rod for a quick kill if we want. 2 spins either way, and Argus will go down and put our first crystal on the board for Guardians of the Galaxy Brain, just shy of the 23-minute mark.
I hope there is nothing in that chest.
I would hate to see him turn around and go right back in. That would make me kind of mad, I'm not going to lie.
Unless it spits, in which case I will laugh.
Oh, no, please don't. No, I got one better. What if it was... Okay, there's nothing there. Well, I mean, imagine mitts, imagine Meyer big.
And I'm guessing that we have to go to desert to get something, because we're going over for a lamp now.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I thought Ricky would probably do in this situation. Do swamp and then pick up the lamp. because the lamp wasn't immediately useful for validation chest boots when Hexa just had Tyvarius go pick it up. But in this case, Ricky's going to be able to flute straight to 6 and then just dive right into the desert here. So that's a good piece of routing for Guardians of the Galaxy Brain. Let's see what transpires in Desert Palace. That's a key that we probably need.
I'm going to guess, since we picked up an Ice Rod, 3rd TR small?
Could be a GT small too, just to make routing easier, but that's all speculation at this point. We don't know.
Exactly.
And we don't know by choice. But the pilots and our tracker know for sure, because they have the log in front of them.
The big key of this dungeon makes me laugh every time.
It makes me laugh until I'm in Mire. It's my last location, and it's my last crystal, and it's in, like, cutscene chest or something, and it's vanilla location.
Been there, done that.
French vanilla mitts. It's a vanilla glove in the vanilla chest.
That's a vanilla strength upgrade. So I was right. It was mitts just with extra steps.
And evidently nothing on the right side of Desert. Ricky is not going to bother with the map chest or with the torch. He is going to bother with this key, though. And that's the 3rd TR small.
So what are we missing at this point in terms of items? We're missing a bunch of keys, I know.
We still need a fire rod. That is not to be uncovered yet. We still need Quake if we want to get into TR, since evidently we see both runners picking up all the pieces they need to go to TR. For validation chest boots, they need a bow, but as we know, there's a bow waiting for us right outside of Desert, so that's not going to be an issue.
Yeah, that's a nice little bit of route, because the bow also was not immediately useful for Guardians of Galaxy Brain. So Hex just having Tyvarius wait picked up until after this point is an okay routing choice.
And we do have an ice rod for both run. Well, Ricky has an ice rod. Tyvarius didn't pick it up because he went to pick up the key instead.
Much to our confusion.
So Ricky is going to have this ice rod available for the Lambo fight. That's going to make things a little bit smoother.
But also butter.
I mean, one ice rod shot, a butter swing, a couple butter swings. Take your pick.
Ice rod missiles are really slow.
They're slow. You can put 2 on the screen, but they travel slower and they take a little bit of wind-up time compared to the fire rod just shooting across the screen in no time at all.
Just ask anyone trying to fight Trinex. There's a reason we are happy that the Firehead moves first, because it makes it really easy to line up the slow-moving shot.
All right, Ricky's going to leave Desert with that extra crystal. Tyvarius right on his heels, though. And here comes the flute. Going right back to 6. So this is Mire Shed, Checkerboard, or Mire proper.
I don't want them to go into Mire for a Mire big key. I'd like them to go into Mire and never come back.
No, don't. Not Mire.
We're going into Mire.
We're going into Mire. Oh. What if it's Mire for Quake and there's just something on Trinex?
Please don't.
Oh, I'm so sad. No bird toss from Ricky.
7 hearts is pretty comfortable for Mire.
7 hearts blue mail. You're not scared by much if you're used to anything low percent. If you're the kind of player that just clutches things out from the claws of death.
And as we suspected, Tyvarius is grabbing that bow now.
Now, we do have no keys to Misery Mire, so Ricky's going to have to make their vanilla way to these first 2 checks on the right side, but at the same time, could very well be that these 2 checks are what we're looking for. We might have a double dip of Mire.
The one downside to this route for Tyvarius is we have to walk back out. And that's a Thieves' Town big key for Guardians of Galaxy Brain.
It sure is. That's a place for that now, isn't it?
Nope, we don't want to deal with Spike Chest.
We are headed to left side, though, so there is probably something else that we need out of here.
Yeah, left side is the fastest way to flip the switch for lobby chest as well, so...
Well, I'm also paying attention to the fact that Ricky did pull a lamp, but yeah, you're right. He's going back to the right side, so he's going straight for the map chest. This is the map chest, right?
Yes. I refer to it as that one chest.
And it was for... Oh, no! So I have a question for our tracker, SiriUX, and anyone in chat who was paying attention. Where is the key that Ricky did not pick up for Turtle Rock?
The one in Speckle Rock.
No, that was a pod key.
That was pod key.
Was that an ice rod cave?
Yes. That's an easy flute to get.
Oh, yeah.
So. But also, you hope it's not important. And also, you have now panicked West Side Vandal.
I'm so sorry, Wes. I didn't mean it. That is an Eastern big key up for sale in the chess game. So once again, the rupee count being important here, you need to have at least 30 to play that. As you can see, Tyvarius is a little bit short at this point.
And are we getting the right side lobby rail clip?
Oh, we most certainly did.
But you know what he doesn't have?
He doesn't have the small key. And he's going to mirror. I don't know if I like that.
He hasn't
flipped the switch. He soft locked.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
he
no.
Has to mirror out.
Oh, that's going to be a bad feeling for Validation Chest Boots. Because not only do you have to go back through here again, you have to go back to... Did they... I didn't see... Did they do Fish Room?
They did?
No. But he picked up the key.
Did
he not pick up the key?
He didn't pick up the key.
Oh, no.
Also, today I learned we can clip right side rail.
Well, in theory, you can do that clip anywhere there is a door flush to a rail. In theory. Definitely easier to do with the door on the left. You could still set it up with that door there. Just not something that our muscle memory is used to. And maybe not as forgiving as a result of that. But now he's got it, and he's going to go straight to pick up his Quake.
That's not a trick you see come out of in Misery Mire very often.
Ricky leaving a little bit early on the bomb in the attic ceiling. Did you do that? Did you do that on purpose, Ricky? Is that for me?
That could have been for you.
Now, there is no reason ever, by the way, Chad, to pick up a single arrow when you have a full quiver. Even if you know where it is, and oh goodness, thank you for not dying in Hellway.
For reference, while I was paying attention to the right side rail clip, Ricky did pick up that powder in front of Thieves.
He did indeed.
That's a vanilla 300.
Ah. That could be telling as well. Or he's just trying to fix his money problems because, it's right there and chess game happens to have an item you need.
I think it's more the money problems, and that's a convenient source of money.
Nice place for a TR big key, everybody.
Oh, no.
We're going to the back of Turtle Rock at some point on this seat, everybody. And as chat points out, I would like to also say, yes, I do consider the single arrow to be go mode.
Yeah.
Ganon is a what of despair?
I
No,
think
that's what we turn him into.
Bacon of despair.
I say that's what we turn him into. In this case, it's going to be buttered bacon today, because you got a gold sword on the left and a tempered sword on the right.
Buttered bacon.
Butter that bacon, boy. Yeah, pod smalls all around here. That should be, what, the fourth one for... That's a Meyer small. That is a Misery Meyer dip lot Meyer small.
Yeah, it is. That's kind of
Ew.
gross.
Thanks, game. I hate it. Question from chat: does Ice Rod serve a use besides killing Trinax? Well, as we saw, Ricky tried to demonstrate, the Ice Rod is pretty nice when it comes to fighting certain enemies and bosses. The Ice Rod was a good weapon to use on Landmo. Ooh, nice. Perfect middle pixel alignment for Tyvarius. Unfortunately, never mind.
Oh, no!
No! And there is a way to medallion cancel. You don't get your magic back, but there's very few uses for it. That would have been a good use for it. Ricky is now going back up the mountain. Are we going to TR? It's on Laser Bridge. It has to be.
If we're going this way, I wonder if there's nothing in Lava Bridge and we're just going to steal a key and get a key off Laser Bridge. It would not be the first time there was a vanilla small key in TR.
You know what would be kind of interesting?
A Meyer Big in Turtle Rock that we need?
No, a fire rod on Laser Bridge.
Please, no.
The meme is real, and it could very well be. You never know, and hopefully you don't have to find out.
For all we know, Fire Rod's just sitting over here in Hookshot Cave.
That is also possible. Hey, you got chat now shouting out possible pod big key on Trinex. No, thank you. I would like a refund, please.
No takebacks. All sales final.
I'm calling my bank. They're going to freeze the money. Okay. Well, here's Turtle Rock. 36 minutes into the spoiler seed. Ricky's the first one to get there.
You know, there are some seeds where 36 minutes is slow to get to Turtle Rock. Let's be honest here.
You remember the one time I tried to do Turtle Rock at an open seed at 20 minutes with Green Mail and Fighter Sword?
Yep. Be careful here, please, Tyvarius.
Tyvarius is going to employ the Keen of Samaria to try to be a little bit safer on this blind fight. Unfortunately, his heads make great goalkeepers, but he does prevail in the end.
We didn't get the key, did we?
Ricky only has 2 keys.
So we didn't get...
So what we need is on Laser Bridge. Or Crystal Roller. We didn't talk about Crystal Roller Room. That's on the way to Laser Bridge.
I only ever think of Crystal Roller when I don't have a lamp. I'll be honest.
Well, we have a lamp, but the lamp's also our first fire source. We don't know where that fire rod is just yet. But I'd imagine this is probably on the path to it. What if it's fire rod in Crystal Roller?
And no, I don't know why Ricky's sprite turns into a frog. I don't know my Toho that well. Or at all.
Yeah, I still find it curious that Tyvarius has that extra TR key. Because the way Guardians are routing is as if though either the 4th key is here, or Trinex is not required at all. Well, Big Chest is not required either, nor is Mimic Cave, based on that turn right there.
So, Crystal Roller?
He did steal the keys, so no, Laser Bridge still. Oh, there's something we want here. It is a big key. It's the big key to pod.
But there's something else we want here. Which, at this point, whatever we want here is a fire rod or a GT big key.
Yeah, actually, that's about all we need at this point to finish the seed, isn't it?
Which, of course, something's on Pendant Laser Bridge, of course.
Ricky, a little bit sparse on HP. He's going to take the stop here to pick up the extra hearts and the extra magic. We do not have any safety invuln items, so Ricky's going to have to be careful on the bridge itself. Of course, boots do make laser bridge skips a little bit easier. And it's the beam. Of course it is.
Of course it's there. Why wouldn't it be there?
And
so where's GT Big Key going to be?
GT Big Key, I would imagine, is probably somewhere in pod.
Or right over here.
No, it could be here. It could be anywhere except, at the top of GT. GT Big Key is like an extra ice rod in this mode. You know where it is, but you got to figure out how to get it. Okay.
Those are nice.
So Ricky is now fully decked out. Got the gold sword, got the silvers. The only other thing you could ask for if you're looking for all the offense and safety in the world is probably a red mail.
I know. I kind of want a bottle right now myself.
A bottle, preferably with a fairy, would be okay. Although I'll take a red or blue potion here as well. Extra heart doesn't hurt. That does for Tyvarius. He gets nipped by the roller, and he's going to get shoved to the front of TR.
Deaths are costly in Rando, but deaths are extra costly in Spoiler. Because, Spoiler, as you can tell, we are an item from Go Mode in 40 minutes. Which tells you, this mode's fast.
Yeah.
Chat pointed out another item we could want. Half magic.
Half magic, so you don't have to worry about not having a bottle and having to, hold on to all of your magic through the GT climb. You can just spam that fire rod away and you're perfectly fine. Ooh, Tyvarius taking a second death in Turtle Rock. That one I think was in Chain Chomps.
Chain Chomps are rude.
Oh no, it wasn't. I think... Did he run into the Pokey? I think he dashed into the Pokey. That's not one you see every day.
Chad also pointing out on my one item from Go Mode formula said, in keys. We are an item from Go Mode at 40 minutes in a keys mode. This mode type is quick.
Oh, now why would you need to pick that up?
I don't know. I honestly don't have an answer for that one.
I'm admittedly kind of nervous seeing Ricky pick up another TR key. Good heads up to see that it's on your path if you're trying to clean up other stuff, though.
If there's something on Trinex, and one runner didn't have a key, and the other runner didn't have an ice rod, this seed is amazing.
I have to imagine if it's pedestal, we'll probably see Tyvarius go pick up that ice rod and take care of Hera on his way to TR. And chat pointing out something too real in key sanity and go mode situations and non-keys, not key sanity, but like spoiler. Every single time you walk past a chest you usually open, pretty sure that means that you didn't mean to pick it up, your muscles just took over.
You've watched me play Pilot before. How many times do I open Ice Palace Spike Chest?
How often do I open up attic chest in Thieves Town? Ricky employing the spin speed tech to make that hammer hitbox a little bit longer, and takes it off for the gold sword, and down goes Helmasaur. This has turned into a fairly healthy seed for Spoiler as well. You see Ricky now rolling around in 9 hearts.
That's a lot of hearts for this level, for this game mode.
And now the run through Eastern, as is typical after finishing up Pod.
Crystal Eastern with a hammer in it before you get your big key.
It's where you say Yasphere 1.
No, because we already got the hammer.
Yeah, I know. Because it was sitting here in Eastern, not blocked by anything. Yasphere 1.
One of very few rooms I enjoy having sword beams in.
Ricky does have one advantage over Tyvarius. He does have the silvers. Tyvarius opted to leave TR, and he might pick those up later, but I wouldn't bet on it. And as chat's pointing out too, yeah, you feel that if you're playing Spoiler and you know your opponent can execute, and you feel confident in your route, but you've taken a death or a knock or you forgot a chest somewhere and you had to go back for it. Those add up in your head, and you start feeling like you have to skip stuff just to stay in this race.
I'm not sure skipping silvers when they're on your path is worth the skip, though.
That's the thing, though. Is Hookshot K really on your path?
Arguably, it saves enough time where we already have an Armos fight in front of us to do as well. Because Tyvarius is going to have to do a standard Armos fight. In addition to everything else that's been killed quickly with silvers, plus, if he doesn't pick them up, the Ganon tower climb, and Ganon himself is quite a bit slower without silvers.
Right now, Ricky now to Ice Palace, and I would imagine this is probably just going to be a run through Ice Palace, and we'll only see something picked up at this point if it's the GT Big Key.
If half magic's in like the icebreaker path, you might pick that up too. Did we just get zapped by the berry, but the beam hit it as well?
You'll see that, because the sword beam will come out before the sword itself does. Actually, I think the sword beam spawns maybe slightly behind your hitbox.
Either way, it was kind of cool to see.
Alright, that's the 10th heart for RickyofKokiri at 10 hearts blue. I feel like at some point, and you gotta be in that room anyway. But I mean, also keeping in mind, the pilots and the runners themselves can see their opponents. They are allowed to view their opponent's streams during this race. So if Ricky sees that he's ahead, he can probably pick up a little extra safety just to make sure that nothing can possibly go wrong.
Yeah, that heart actually just put Ricky from 3 fire bat hits to 4. So, a little bit of heads up note that can put you ahead of that damage curve.
That was one heck of a wiggle for Icebreaker. There's Bombos making this entire trip free.
I'd call that worth the grab right there, just because we have a cold stare to get through.
Is this what I think it is? No. But it is a GT small, and that's worth picking up, too.
That means you don't have to pick up the one from the left side pot. And that's muscle memory.
I mean, the chest is right there. You only lose, what, 90 frames for picking it up? It's not a big deal.
Like I said, how often do we just open that chest automatically because we spawned it hookshot to it anyways? And Tyvarius unfortunately had the Igors here go awry. Oh, we are going very awry with the Igors today.
Yeah, the one on the left, he shot just slightly early enough that the Igor, took an arrow to the eyelid as his eyelid was opening. So it's like, what happened?
Nice quick kill, though.
Hey, Ricky, that is not the Bombos medallion, my friend.
Wasn't it another Quake medallion
That
use?
would be, oops, I quaked.
He's just trying to make sure Coldstare's quaking in fear.
Unfortunately, these puffs are going to run wild here for Ricky, but Gold Sword is going to make quick work of this as well. Ricky, you have a fire rod. There we go. You probably hear Olhado in his ear going, Ricky, use your fire rod! Ricky! That's the cape.
This is a palace of safety.
Now, the cape's an incidental pickup, but now we're at that point of where is the big key to Ganon's Tower?
Well, for one, we're running out of crystal dungeons. Do we have a GT big key in its own dungeon?
Well, that wouldn't be very good. No, it could be up here. Unless this will be Ricky picking up his... no.
We don't have money for Zora. What?
And he's already done Swamp Small. So what's in here that you're picking up now? A safety bottle. And you know what? If you're here, you do this now. Because you're not coming back here.
This is Skullwoods.
And Skullwoods is our 7th crystal, chat. Man, it's been 50 minutes already. Do give a shout out to these two runners, Tyvarius, Ricky of Kokiri. The week 4 action. Spoiler is not an easy mode. Give these two a follow and your love and support as League hits the midway point this week.
And spoiler mode, I know, is a favor of some of the League players because from what I've heard, we get a lot of positive reception on this mode, and as a commentator for it, I enjoy this mode. It's fast and fun.
Tyvarius must really not like that switch. Misadventures of Quick Swap are tragic, but still funny.
They only stop being funny when they involve a magic mirror.
Oh, well, that's not funny. If you're chat, that's hilarious. If you're the runner, you are probably tearing your hair out.
As a commentator, I don't laugh at the mirror misusage. Do you?
Well, you can't. It feels bad. Imagine mirroring on, Vitreous or something. Not that any of us have ever done that.
Yeah. Why would anyone ever suggest something like mirroring out of the Wizro rooms of GT?
Who could possibly forget the pain that is mirroring out of the back of Eastern? Not once, but twice.
If it wasn't obvious, chat, yes, we are using our own experiences of misadventures in Quickswap.
And if you don't have any of your own, I'm going to call you a liar, because everyone that's learning how to play with Quickswap has at least one goof here and there. Like how I still continually shoot an arrow before I mirror anywhere. Especially if I recently picked up a boomerang. Talking about Boomerang, Moth is going to bounce off that top left corner and be rather rude to Ricky, but Ricky's going to take care of this, and that's 7 crystals, everybody. And 2 rows of hearts.
Number 11 in Spoiler.
When do you ever see 2 rows of hearts in Spoiler?
I have not seen 2 rows. You know, normally when I'm running, my pilot doesn't let me get more than about 7 hearts.
Meanwhile, yeah, Tyvarius had a very nice cold stare kill as well, and from the looks of it, did not pick up his Bombos medallion either.
For a moment, I was worried why we were mirroring in front of the pedestal path. And then I remembered we needed to get to the light world.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to flute from the dark world unless you're playing inverted, but luckily, we won't be seeing any inverted for a while here. Not till playoffs, anyway. Alright, so this is obviously Ricky going directly to GT. Does that mean we have an own dungeon GT big key? If that's the case, it's got to be real early if we only go into GT with 1 key.
I mean, there's always the worst case scenarios. We're not going to discuss them.
I know one right off the bat. You know what it is?
The shovel.
You have to get something in GT to go get your GT big key, and then climb the mountain all over again.
Our tracker, Seiryu, has called for a GT guessing game for where the GT big key is. Not numbers, because we're only going to go for the big key. I'm going to use the answer of a friend of ours, Zaru.
Are you going to say torch?
I'm about to say torch.
Okay. And this friend of ours, do they happen to say torch even in keys modes when you've picked up the GT key in like Link's house or something?
They also don't like the red cane, so yes.
Ah, I see. How can anyone not like the red cane? It breaks the game in half. Meanwhile, Tyvarius is going to break Mothula in half. Much nicer patterns and a much slightly quicker fight, I would say, actually.
We got a small key off the left side. We have to go right to get the GT big key.
And it is a strict go right. Because you see Ricky's picked up the key and he's going right. He's not going to stop in Tile Room. Oh, he is going to stop in Tile... Is it?
Oh.
Is it?
Oh.
Don't be like this, game. Don't be like this. You know, I'm of the crowd that believes that spoiler rolled seeds are much more evil than anything you could see in your other non-keys mode.
This is, if it's right here, this is living proof. No!
Oh, that's so bad. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and folks of the non-binary nature, if you guessed 22 and this was open, you win because the big key to GT is in Tile Room, which is the last place in Key Sanity you'd like to see the big key of Ganon's Tower. Also, in spoiler, you love to see the big key in Tile Room in Ganon's Tower because that just tells you, oh, go get the key of Samaria. Climbing GT is free. But instead, we're going to see Ricky with silvers make quick work of these couple of rooms, make quick work of a few other things, and we're going to have a Ganon fight on the screen here in just a couple minutes. And as we discussed earlier, Tyvarius is going into Hookshot Cave. I would imagine this is him picking up his silvers.
So, do you know who the first person to say Tile Room was in our chat?
Who would I like to point out for that?
West
Was it our...
Side Vandal. the guardian of the Galaxy Brain.
Wes, are you sure you haven't looked at the spoiler log? Because if so, I mean, who says tile room in GT and, you know, Folky Sanity? Spoiler. It's like... it's like the last place you'd expect to see it.
That GT tile room for its own big key in keys.
This is the game that keeps on giving. Hi, everybody. We're playing a Link to the Past randomizer. We know where all the items are, and we hate this seed.
No, I love this seed. Ricky has no magic.
Ricky does not like this seed because some of these enemy RNGs are being kind of rude to him. And yeah, Ricky has no magic. He might fake powder this bunny beam coming up, though.
This gauntlet has not played nice for him.
No, he's just going to chug the green and call it good. He might still powder this bunny beam, though. Ricky, I would have absolutely fake powdered that, dude.
Yeah, but he's putting on a show at high stress level, low percent in a, admittedly, relatively close. He's got a couple of minutes on Tyvarius.
Ooh, nice snipe in the back of the head for Lamela's third head. So, and now having chugged that green potion, he has nothing to worry about going through the rest of the climb here. Instead of having to do magic management for the next couple of rooms, we can just see the most satisfying Samaria rooms in the entire game. As Tyvarius picks up his GT big key, he's already swipping over to the powder to pick that fairy up, go into the climb with full HP. And we got a race here, folks. We got a race where Ricky is ahead by a gauntlet and has considerably more HP. But things can still very much go wrong. If you have a couple falls at Moldorm, you get bopped by Ganon one too many times, you get knocked off inside the pyramid. It's not over till it's over, everybody. With that, we have crossed the hour mark, Zeke.
Yeah, it's been an hour. It's been a hectic hour, too.
It's definitely been an interesting hour. One thing for Ricky, he doesn't have to pick up this mini helmet key because he climbed with 2. Tyvarius, on the other hand, only has 1. So he'll have to deal with the fantastically frenetic movement patterns of mini Helmosaurs at the top of the tower here.
More importantly, the complete invulnerability from the front. That's...
Well, okay then.
Sure, game. The game just wants to be nice to us.
Were you there when I got half magic in that spot twice this week? Ricky, no.
Have you ever noticed how fun the spikes are in this room?
How many air quotes are around the word fun?
7.
That's a lot of quotation marks. You think you're trying to emphasize something.
And down goes Moldorm 2. I almost said Cold Stare for no good reason.
I'd wonder how you get the 2 mixed up. Tyvarius has a rather low ammo count here for his bow. Only 5.
He did pick up the silvers from Hookshot Cave, which, given that they're right there...
Yes, but he also used them kind of liberally in the gauntlet climb. There is a pot in the next room. Let's see if he remembers that it's there. Nope.
Or he's just decided it's not worth it. He has enough to kill Ganon.
5 is the number. Just don't miss.
He can miss 1.
Just don't miss, period. That way you finish what would have been my arrow in your inventory. Oh, wait, no, he didn't pick that up. Ricky did. Okay, Ricky, you're allowed to miss 20 times. Okay. And Agate 2 with some interesting patterns. I believe that was 4 cycles for Ricky, though.
I believe so. Tyvarius playing it slightly safe, using the lamp.
He did not pick up a bottle out of Waterfall, so he doesn't have the luxury of the green potion that Ricky used before facing off against Lamo 2. Now, he does know that he's picking up half magic, so he could have been a little bit more liberal, but Opting to be on the safe side, he's going to pick up that full refill there and use the fire rod for these torches instead.
Bonks over to pit. I love that bonk.
Bonk looks nice, but it's not faster.
No, but at my level of play, I like looking cool. And Ricky is giving us the cape.
Yes, the cape. The cape that makes Tyvarius opting without any magic refills at all to skip the half magic in pre-Moldor.
Don't need magic refills when you got silver arrows, I guess.
Well, what if you opt to use the cape? What if something happens and you end up having to refight Ganon? What if? I don't think we'll see that. We're looking at probably a good, clean endgame for both players here.
I don't like the concept of what-ifs here. I like things to go smoothly.
Same. And let's see a smooth Silver's fight from Ricky as he's entered Phase 4 already. That was a silverless slash?
That was a silverless slash.
Boy. You love to see it. And this should do it. 2 arrows to the side of the pig. We have buttered bacon on the left side here. And that means, provided he doesn't decide to fall into a slippery slope on the edge of this 1x3 bridge, Ricky of Kokiri will be the first to finish on our stream today and give Guardians of the Galaxy Brain their 3rd win of the season. Right about 1:05 on the dot.
An excellent race run by Ricky and excellent piloting from Olhado.
If you haven't already, get your GGs in chat for Guardians of the Galaxy Brain. Ricky of Kokiri on the screen. Ohado behind the scenes. And Tyvarius not too far behind. 1 Ganon fight separating the two.
And I guess since we know he's here, Westside Vandal being fantastic moral support from chat here. And Tyvarius is about to drop into the pig. He does have only 4.5 hearts, so can only eat 1 hit. And don't hug. Don't hug the pig.
Well, we are in blue mail, but yes, still do not hug the pig. He does also have tempered swords, so we might be seeing a 1-in-1 here. He went for a spin instead. A couple of quick slashes would have gotten him there, but unfortunately, we're going to have a 2 and possibly 1. No, he's going to play it safe here.
This is a 2-and-2. This fire bat position is not nice.
No, and that's the one spot you might have liked to use the cape just to guarantee yourself. Oh boy, Tyvarius, no! Ouch. That never feels good. But you know what? You're going to go in now with 6 hearts instead of 4.5, and you can take 1 extra hit here.
But still don't hug Ganon.
Why would you want to hug Ganon? He's all slimy and evil and just kind of blue.
Ganon, just go a few more feet to the right, please.
No, he wants to give us the worst possible patterns. You see that Tyvarius has menued over the cape? While he could use it a little bit, he'd have to be kind of careful with his torches then afterwards. Nice strategic use of it to dodge the fire bats coming straight at him and stay in position for a couple extra slashes here. Ouch. Alright, we are golden. He's in phase 3, and Ganon does not feel very warp happy today, apparently.
Whoa!
Oh, don't run into those. That last ring of fire still gets me. You know, thousands of seeds into this game. I still run into that.
So now just don't get hit.
Yeah, it's free. They say free. I mean, it's not like you're paying anything to not get hit. It's definitely going to add some stress to the fight. And, oh no.
That looks like an up input get eaten.
Yeah, you'd want to be able to get that shot in He's getting this Oh, he didn't get it this time. He had it the first 2 times, the trident spin for what would have been a setup for 1-on-1. Now, pay attention to his magic meter, because now he's at half. And that's going to play in a little bit, because they skipped the half magic. They do not have a magic refill. And they only have enough money to buy, no magic refills, because they don't have a bottle.
I'm trying to think, what is the fastest way to get a magic refill at this point?
Flute to 3, bonk the tree north of the portal in Kakariko.
Probably.
I mean, that's what I do anyway. If someone has a better suggestion in mind, please share it with the class. All right, back into phase 3 here. Getting that preemptive slash in so that Ganon never releases the fire bats. And right into phase 4.
And this time he can eat 2 fire bats and gets the instant silver hit.
And the instant fire rod torch. That's beautiful. And that's a double. And that means 1 more. And Tyvarius can put this seed to bed. Down goes Ganon.
Just gotta get Do Not Fall. You're very high on that platform.
And let's see some GGs in chat for Tyvarius and Hexadus of Validation Chest Boots. They will finish just shy of 110 on this seed. And huge shout-outs to both runners. There were some points in the seed where we were doing kind of iffy stuff, running all over the place. I'm sure most of this time, the entire chat was thinking, they're picking up TR keys, they're picking up the Ice Rod, they're picking up the Cane. Is this a pet seed? What say you, Ricky of Kokiri and Olhado, joining us in the commentary booth. GG, guys.
Thank you. Oh,
Thank you.
My nerves during that race. Oh my gosh.
GG to Guardians of Galaxy Brain. And I believe we're going to be getting the Validation Chest Boots representatives in here shortly as well.
Yeah, looks like they're on their way.
And welcome and GG to Hexadus and Tyvarius of Validation Chest Boots.
GG, guys.
GG's.
Ricky and Olhado. Well done.
So, in terms of a spoiler seed, Guardians of the Galaxy Brain, your third teammate, is in chat, and he's been saying some stuff about how you've been practicing the worst and you're prepared for the worst. What would you rate this on a scale of 1 to worst?
I think the last night's practice are actually worse than this one, but this was pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, placement of things, I would say like 7 or 8, but how smooth the seed felt, only like a 6, I think.
And Tyvarius and Hexadus, any further thoughts on the placement of some of the things on the seed?
I mean, other than that Turtle Rock dip, this one actually played out really smooth in terms of, kind of where things were. And it was really jumpy in places, but
yeah.
Like overall, I would say this is not at all. Actually, I think this one's a PB for us, Ty. Yeah, probably. I
think it was for us too.
It felt super quick, and right when he's like, "All right, we're in go," I said, "Cool, just take a look, see where they are." He's like, "Yeah, Ricky on the restream anyways, just going into T-Rock," and that just tilted me. I'm like, "Oh, okay, I got catching up to do." So I died twice in T-Rock.
Oh, bummer. It's crazy. Those nerves are, those can get you.
Can we talk about Fire Rod on Laser Bridge, or would you rather not?
I mean, Ohio tells me Fire Rod's on Laser Bridge. I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, where's Bombos then? Because I'm like, okay, we could probably pick that up last, for Skullwoods, whatever. And then he tells me Bombos is inside Ice Blast. I'm like, no.
And for a split second, I thought Bombos was the one we needed to get into TR. I'm like, wait, this is impossible.
Yeah. Yep.
That's funny.
And then, of course, like, the placement of the big keys was totally weird.
Yeah. I think that was the oddest part of this, outside of that Fire Rod.
Yeah, those big keys, like Meyer having a big key to, Thieves Town to get your big key to whatever. I think Turtle Rock.
Like,
Yeah,
it
if
was just gross.
If I recall correctly, it was Meyer for for Thieves Big Key,
Yep.
for TR Big Key on Blind, for Pod Big Key and Crystal Roller,
Yeah.
and then you get to go mode Pod in the end. It's like, oh, okay.
Speaking
Yeah,
of
and
big keys, who laughed at Big Key in Tile Room?
We both did.
Everybody did.
So
I
here
saw
was
chat
our
kind of going,
big
did
blunder.
they forget Big Key? No.
So that kind of harkens back to week 1 in the co-op. It was me and Skelly running, and he got into GT first. So I said, all right, you go left side, I'll go right side. And I think he was almost to Rando Room. And I said, all right, well, I'm just going to start with Tile Room. And I let out just the biggest laugh. I said, well, it's on the right side. So having that again was funny.
Yeah, we're so used to knowing you need a small key to go right side. We just forgot which door it was, so we stopped a Nice Palace map chest to grab an extra small key there. Because we're like, oh, we're
Yeah.
gonna need it.
And I was passing by anyway, so it was super convenient. But yeah.
I think we skipped that one.
Yeah, when you guys went in, I was like, oh no. And then it was after that you guys like had the keys, and I was like, wait, how did they have the keys? That we realized that we already had 2 keys before getting the Moldorm one.
Well, you see, what we did was we read the spoiler log.
No way, is that legal? Wait.
Just steal the key from spoiler log, right?
Mods.
Yes.
Yes.
By the way, we haven't said anything about who restreamed us today. That would be one of the mods, Amarith. She
Absolutely
kind of helps run this show.
Right.
So big
No
shout outs to
kidding.
Amarith for picking this race up for restream, for having us on board, for Super UX for helping track and keep track of things that Zeke and I might have missed, and for these 4 for being good sports the entire way through. And Zeke
Yes, sorry.
for roping me into this with a little bit of help from Ricky.
Yes.
Fantastic. No, it was a lot of fun. Like I said, it's handy. So Hex doesn't really tell me what I'm picking up. He just says, go here, grab these 3 chests, and I just go, okay.
Oh my gosh.
And so he goes, all right, after that, you're going to go to Thieves. I go, am I going to get the big? He goes, yeah.
Yeah. No, and I am much more demanding of information than that.
I was
get
like, I'll
stumped
trust you.
by Ricky's questions, and I'm like, shit, I forgot what I was looking up.
Yeah. You don't need to know what you're getting. Come on. You just go and pick up the chests I tell you to pick up, and you'll be fine.
I'd like to point out something a little strange here on our end screen, but that Ricky has one of the higher check rates I've seen in a spoiler seat.
And he still crushed it. Well done.
Thanks. Yeah, that is one area of improvement I need to work on, just in spoiler log in general, is don't open every single chest in the room.
Yeah, it's all good. Yeah, that took a lot of retraining the brain, and there were even a few items today where I go, oh, muscle memory.
Yeah, lots of muscle memory.
Yeah, it's the hardest thing to get over, and especially when you're used to having certain items for certain rooms. Not doing those things that you normally would, like, oh, I don't know, face tank a bunch of health.
Oh, yeah. That's why one of the first things I ask Ohado is, okay, where are the males? Because I'm gonna face tank things, and I need as much protection as possible.
Well, at least the males were, one of the males, we didn't.
Yeah, one of them
pick
was
up the other one
easy.
was literally just right under your feet, right after you go, okay, where are the males? Oh, okay, drop into Hyrule Castle back, got it.
Yeah.
So, who can we look forward to running for Guardians and Chest Boots later this week?
So on Thursday, it's going to be Westside Vandal, piloted by Ohado for Guardians of the Galaxy Brain.
Yep, and for us, we have Skelly being piloted by Hexodus. It's going to be at the exact same time, still 10 Eastern, but that'll be, like they were saying, on Thursday. Looking forward to it. I mean, obviously a little salty at the loss, a little salty at my own hubris there at Ganon at the end. I'm like, well, he already won, so we're gonna go for some swag stuff. Hugged Ganon. I go, all right, let's just kill him and get it done with. But no, GG's Guardians, well done. Obviously, GG's Ohaldo on the route, GG's Ricky on the execution.
Yeah, you guys too. I mean, we were pretty tight up for a lot of that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was very nerve-wracking, but a lot of fun to watch.
You were so close behind us almost the entire time. I was so relieved you finally died and showed the rock. I was like, okay,
Yeah.
breathe. We're okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I do something wrong now.
Yeah, it's all good. I mean, yeah, now that it's over, it's sort of like, all right, take that breath and go at it again. But no, big shout outs, obviously, Zaru and Zeke. Thanks for coming in clutch on the restream.
Yeah.
Like you already said, Amarith and Cyru, thank you guys so much for being on the back end of things. It's amazing to be on restream and just to share this game that we all enjoy.
And I said it better.
All right, Ty, go enjoy that whiskey.
Whiskey is for winners.
All right.
That's why you're
beer
pouring
like the
bourbon
rest of
instead.
All right, thanks again, y'all.
A big GG's to Guardians of the Galaxy Brain Validation Chess Boost. I'm now excited for Game 2. What about you, Zaru?
Oh, I can't wait to see Game 2 between these two guys. And that Skelly versus Westside Vandal game, that's going to be one heck of an execution battle. I don't think either of those two have anything to scoff at in spoiler. So if you get to watch these two teams play again, absolutely tune in. If not, keep it tabs on and follow the runners and keep an eye on everything going on here in the league. Speaking of going on here in the league, Zeke, what do we have coming up here?
Well, I'd say more, but we are being sent off on a raid here shortly. But currently going over on a Link to the Past Randomizer League 2, we have, I believe the match going right now is Aga's Backup Dancers versus... I don't remember.
It is Aga's Backup Dancers versus Saha's Kids, running on the screen, Immortal Koi and Gilgamesh. So that is what we will send you guys off to. Thanks, everybody, for watching tonight. Keep an eye on the ALTTPR League 1 through 4 for restreams throughout the season. And if you like invitational action, go check out Speed Gaming. I hear they're pretty good.
Have a good night, everybody.